Amaka, what if you pretend to be me for one night? Just long enough for me to be able to figure things out, Chidi.
Adebola and Fumi had been married for a few years now. They lived in Lagos, trying to build a life together despite some challenges. One evening, Fumi was getting ready to go out. Fumi, where are you going? Adebola asked, looking up from his newspaper. I'm going to my friend Amaka's party, Fumi replied, putting on her earrings. Adebola frowned. I thought I told you not to go. I'm not a child, Adebola. Only kids get told what to do, Fumi said, annoyed. Remember, you are my wife. You swore an oath to submit, Adebola insisted. Fumi turned to face him. What is this, the 1800s? I'm going to my best friend's party and I don't see anything wrong with that. I don't like Amaka. She's a bad influence and you give her too much time, Adebola argued. You are my husband, yes, but you don't get to choose my friends. Fumi shot back. One morning, you could wake up and decide you don't love me anymore and kick me out. Guess what? My friends will always be there for me. She grabbed her purse and headed for the door. So, darling, I will see you when I get back. Take care of yourself. Adebola watched her leave. Feeling frustrated and powerless, he knew he should have handled that differently, but his temper had gotten the best of him. At Amaka's party, the music was loud and the drinks were flowing freely. Fumi arrived and was greeted warmly by her friend. Fumi, you made it, Amaka squealed, hugging her. Of course, I wouldn't miss your party, Fumi replied with a smile. As they chatted, Fumi noticed a familiar face across the room, her ex-boyfriend, Chidi. She froze, not expecting to see him here. Chidi spotted her and made his way over. Fumi, is that you? Wow, you look amazing. Fumi shifted uncomfortably. Chidi, what are you doing here? Oh, partying, he said with a charming smile. It's good to see you. Amaka noticed the tension and pulled Fumi aside. Hey, why is Chidi here? I thought you two were done. Fumi sighed. We are. I'm struggling so hard to put my past behind me. And Chidi, he's my past. Well, it looks loaded tonight, Amaka observed. I heard he just closed a big business deal. Chidi approached them again with drink in his hand. Ladies, can I get you something from the bar? No thanks, Fumi said quickly. Chidi leaned in closer. Come on, Fumi. The whole marriage thing was a terrible mistake. I told you to wait. You could have waited because now I have the money we used to fight about. It's too late, Chidi. I'm happy now. Fumi insisted. Chidi scoffed. That's a lie. I can tell you are not happy. I'm the only man who can make you happy and you know it. Why don't you just divorce him? I can give you everything and anything. Fumi shook her head firmly. Are you out of your mind, Chidi? I thought I told you it's over between us. Is it really over? Chidi pressed, grabbing her arm. Just then, another guest stumbled into their conversation. Hey, some people need to learn party ethics. Don't go to parties just to drink all the drinks. Chidi turned to the man angrily. Do you know every drink on this table I bought, including the one you are drinking, you joker? The situation was escalating quickly. Fumi tried to slip away, but Chidi held on to her firmly. Let go, you are hurting me, she hissed. Another man stepped in. Femi, the party host. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Femi Otumba, and just for your benefit, every drink on this table was bought with my hard-earned cash. And Fumi here, she's my girl. Chidi released Fumi's arm, glaring at Femi. The tension was thick in the air. Amaka quickly intervened, trying to lighten the mood. Hey everyone, let's have some more drinks and keep the party going. The night wore on, with Fumi doing her best to avoid both Chidi and Femi. She left earlier than planned, her head spinning from the drama and the drinks. The next morning, Fumi woke up with a pounding headache. As she stumbled to the kitchen for some water, she was surprised to see Adebola had made breakfast. "Good morning, beautiful," he said. "How was your night?" Fumi managed a weak smile. "It was okay. You made breakfast." "Of course," Adebola replied. "I wanted to do something nice for you." As they ate in awkward silence, there was a knock at the door. Fumi went to answer it, shocked to find Chidi standing there. "What are you doing here?" she whispered furiously. "I thought I'd take you out for breakfast. Come on, for old time's sake." "Are you crazy?" "My husband is right inside," Fumi said, trying to close the door. Chidi wedged his foot in the doorway. "One weekend, Fumi, just one weekend with me, and I promise I will never bother you again. Get out of here before my husband sees you," Fumi warned. But it was too late. Adebola appeared behind her. "Who is at the door, honey?" Fumi's heart raced as she tried to think of an explanation. "Oh, just an old friend passing by. It was just leaving." Chidi reluctantly backed away, and Fumi quickly shut the door. She turned to face Adebola, plastering on a fake smile. "So, shall we finish our breakfast?" she asked brightly. Over the next few days, Fumi couldn't shake the encounter with Chidi from her mind. Despite her best efforts to avoid him, he kept finding ways to contact her, leaving messages, sending flowers to her workplace. One afternoon, Fumi met up with Amaka for lunch. "Girl, you looked so stressed," Amaka observed. "What is going on?" Fumi sighed heavily. "It's Chidi. He won't leave me alone. He keeps saying he wants one weekend with me, and then he will disappear forever." Amaka raised an eyebrow. "And? Are you considering it?" "Of course not," Fumi exclaimed. "I'm married. I love Adebola." "Do you though?" Amaka asked skeptically. "Because from where I'm sitting, it seems like you are not entirely happy." Fumi stirred her drink absently. "It's just Adebola and I have been having some problems lately. But that doesn't mean I want to cheat on him." "Look, I'm not saying you should do anything," Amaka said. "But maybe this Chidi situation is a sign that you need to really examine your marriage and what you want." Fumi nodded slowly. Lost in thought, when she got home that evening, she found Adebola waiting for her. "Where have you been?" he demanded. "I've been calling you all afternoon." "I was having lunch with Amaka," Fumi replied defensively. "My phone was on silent." Adebola's eyes narrowed. "Amaka again? I told you I don't like you spending so much time with her. And I told you that you don't get to choose my friends," Fumi snapped. They glared at each other for a moment before Adebola sighed. "Look, I don't want to fight. I just worry about you. That's all." Fumi felt a pang of guilt. "I know. I'm sorry I didn't let you know where I was." They embraced awkwardly, the tension still lingering between them. The next day, Fumi received another message from Chidi asking to meet. Against her better judgment, she agreed to see him for coffee. "I knew you'd come around," Chidi said smugly when she arrived. Fumi sat down across from him. "I'm only here to tell you to leave me alone. I'm married, Chidi. It's over between us." Chidi leaned forward. "Is it really over though? Come on, Fumi. You can't tell me you are happy with him. I remember how we used to be together. Don't you miss that passion?" Fumi hesitated. "That was a long time ago. Things are different now." "They don't have to be," Chidi pressed. "Just give me one chance to show you what you are missing. One weekend. That's all I'm asking." Fumi stood up abruptly. "I have to go. Please, Chidi, just forget about me." She hurried out of the cafe, her emotions in turmoil. When she got home, she found Adebola waiting for her again. "Where were you?" he asked suspiciously. Just running errands," Fumi lied, avoiding his gaze. Adebola stepped closer. You have been acting strange lately. Is there something you are not telling me? Fumi felt panic raising in her chest. Of course not. Everything is fine. But Adebola was convinced. Over the next few days, he watched Fumi closely, noticing how distracted and jumpy she seemed. His suspicions grew, fueled by past trust issues in their relationship. Meanwhile, Fumi was torn. She knew she shouldn't even be considering Chidi's offer, but a small part of her was tempted. A marriage to Adebola had grown stale, lacking the excitement and passion she craved. One evening, unable to bear the tension any longer, Fumi confided in Amaka. I don't know what to do, she admitted. I love Adebola, but things have not been good between us for a while. And now, with Chidi back in the picture. Amaka listened sympathetically. Girl, you are in a tough spot, but you need to be careful. If you do anything with Chidi, you could lose everything. Fumi nodded miserably. I know, but what if I've already lost it? Adebola and I barely talk anymore. We are like strangers living in the same house. Have you tried talking about how you feel? Amaka suggested. I've tried, but he just gets defensive. Fumi sighed. I don't know how to reach him anymore. As they talked, an idea began to form in Fumi's mind. It was crazy and risky, but she was desperate. Amaka, what if you pretend to be me for one night? Fumi proposed hesitantly. Just long enough for me to, figure things out with Chidi. Amaka's eyes widened. Are you out of your mind? That's insane. I know, Fumi said quickly. But it would just be for one night. Adebola wouldn't even know, and then I could get Chidi out of my system once and for all. Amaka shook her head firmly. No way. That's way too dangerous. What if Adebola finds out? We will both be in huge trouble. Fumi's shoulders slumped. You are right. I don't know what I was thinking. I guess I'm just desperate for a way out of this mess. Amaka patted her friend's hand. I know it's hard, but cheating isn't the answer. You need to be honest with Adebola about how you are feeling. It's the only way to save your marriage, if that's what you really want. Fumi nodded slowly. You are right. I will talk to him tonight. But when Fumi got home, she found Adebola in a foul mood. He had a bad day at work and was in no state for a serious conversation. Fumi's resolve faltered, and she retreated to their bedroom without saying anything. The next morning, Fumi woke up to find Adebola had already left for work. She spent the day agonizing over what to do, torn between her loyalty to her husband and her lingering feelings for Chidi. That evening, she made a decision. She would meet Chidi one last time to tell him definitively that it was over. Then, she would come clean to Adebola about everything and try to repair their marriage. Fumi arranged to meet Chidi at a hotel bar, planning to have a quick conversation and leave. But when she arrived, she found Chidi had reserved a room. Just in case, he said with a wink. Fumi's willpower crumbled. Before she knew it, she was following Chidi up to the room. Meanwhile, Adebola had grown increasingly suspicious of Fumi's behavior. He decided to follow her that evening, watching from his car as she entered the hotel with Chidi. Consumed by anger and betrayal, Adebola stormed into the hotel and demanded the room number from the receptionist. He took the elevator up, his hands shaking as he approached the door. Inside the room, Fumi was already regretting her decision. Chidi, this was a mistake. I should go. But before she could leave, the door burst open. Adebola stood there, his face contorted with rage. So this is where you have been sneaking off to, he snarled. Fumi felt her world crashing down around her. Adebola, please, I can explain. But Adebola was beyond listening. In a fit of anger, he lashed out. Shoving Fumi hard, she stumbled backward, losing her balance. Her head struck the corner of the bedside table as she fell. Time seemed to stand still as Adebola and Chidi stared in horror at Funmi's motionless body. Blood pooled on the carpet beneath her head. "What have you done?" Chidi whispered, his face pale. Adebola sank to his knees, overcome with shock and remorse. I didn't mean to. Oh God, what have I done?" In a panic, Chidi fled the scene, leaving Adebola alone with the consequences of his actions. Trembling, Adebola called for an ambulance, but it was too late. Funmi was gone. The days that followed passed in a blur for Adebola. He was arrested and charged with manslaughter. The story of Funmi's death and the circumstances surrounding it became a media sensation. Funmi's family was devastated. Her parents couldn't understand why things had gone so terribly wrong. Amaka was consumed by guilt, wondering if she could have prevented this tragedy if she had agreed to Funmi's crazy plan. As Adebola sat in his jail cell awaiting trial, he was tormented by memories of his life with Funmi. He remembered their wedding day full of hope and promise. He thought of all the small moments, shared laughter, quiet evenings at home, dreams of the future. How had they lost their way so badly? He realized now how his jealous and controlling behavior had pushed Funmi away. If only he had been more understanding, more willing to listen. If only he had worked harder to keep the spark alive in their marriage. If only he had controlled his anger that fatal night. But it was too late for if onlys. Funmi was gone, and Adebola would have to live with the weight of his actions for the rest of his life. In the end, Adebola was sentenced to 7 years in prison for manslaughter. As he was led away from the courtroom, he caught sight of Funmi's parents. The pain and accusation in their eyes would haunt him forever. Chidi was eventually tracked down and charged as an accessory after he fled the scene. He received a lighter sentence, but his reputation was ruined. Amaka struggled to move on with her life, plagued by what ifs. She threw herself into charity work, starting a foundation in Funmi's name to help women in abusive relationships. Years passed. Adebola was released from prison, a changed man. He tried to rebuild his life, but the shadow of what he had done hung over him always. He volunteered at a men's support group, sharing his story as a cautionary tale about the dangers of jealousy and uncontrolled anger. Funmi's parents never fully recovered from the loss of their daughter. They found some solace in supporting Amaka's foundation, hoping that some good might come out from their tragedy. And Funmi, her story served as a stark reminder of how quickly things can spiral out of control. Her death sparked important conversations about infidelity, domestic violence, and the importance of open communication in relationships. In the end, there were no winners in this tale of love and betrayal. The end.